Hi everyone, I'm filming in a different room today, which feels really odd, but our neighbour is mowing his lawn. So I've come into the living room. I have a houseplant behind me, which makes me feel like a YouTuber cliche. And speaking of cliches, I am going to be talking about some lockdown cliches I've been ticking off and doing recently in the name of trying to find things to amuse myself, because we've got to find fun things to do at the moment, don't we? I am still in the same situation that I've been in throughout all of lockdown. I'm still being advised to shield, only going out for the occasional walk. Mr. M and I have started going late at night instead of early in the morning, mixing it up a bit. There are also foxes late at night, which is great, though we're not going through the woods late at night because I think that would be quite scary. At the moment, I am writing things about woods in the dark, and I don't want to, do any meta writing. So yeah, we've been walking around just a block late at night, counting foxes. And I just wanted to mention that in case any of you, because I'm sure there are many of you watching, are still in the same position that you have been throughout the last 6 months. And I knew that it would be harder when restrictions for other people lessened, etc. So I just wanted to say, if you're also in that boat and you're feeling slightly left behind, I see you, I feel you, and I high five you through the screen, or high for you, as Mr. M pointed out. I should say instead, which is quite rude. Creating content over this past 6 months. I know I've been making content on here for 6 years, it's now part of my job, but especially over the past 6 months has brought me so much comfort, and I hope that it's brought you comfort too, as well as doing these twice weekly videos about books. I've been doing extra Instagram content and showing you what I'm cooking, and I did that whole month of reading to you every single day and creating a very casual audiobook of Pride and Prejudice, which was so fun. And I've been thinking of other things that I could do which would be fun for me and would be fun for you. So I wanted to talk about that first before I get into the list of other stuff, in case you would like to make a note of it in your diary and join in. I decided, for anyone who would like to join in, and even if you don't want to do it with us but you would like to watch, sounds weird, I thought I would do a live cook-along. So a YouTube live where I film myself making an entire meal. I tell you the ingredients in advance so you can purchase them if you would like to, and then you can join in and cook with me. Obviously it's not like a Zoom call, so you won't be filmed doing it. It's just a one-way camera, and at home you can watch and cook along. I just thought that would be really cozy. We're getting into the autumn months now, which I do love, but time is ticking. I'm making soup today, and I was making soup still at the beginning of lockdown in March. So it's, time. Anyway, I thought that would be a really fun thing to do. So I took to Instagram and I said, would you like that? The answer was yes. And would you prefer sweet or savory? It wasn't helpful to ask that because it was exactly a 50-50 split between savory and sweet. So I thought this time we'll do savory, and then if we enjoy ourselves, I'll do a sweet one later. I wanted to try and make it so that as many people could join in as possible. So I have made it so that it is vegetarian. You can make it plant-based, and you can also make it gluten-free if you are gluten intolerant or celiac. So I thought the thing that we would make would be aubergine pasta, which is something I've been making for over 10 years. I don't know where the original recipe came from because I've changed it so much over the years, and I thought we could make our pasta from scratch, because that seemed like a really scary thing to me until a few weeks ago when I decided to give it a shot. And I don't have any special equipment, I just have a rolling pin. And if you don't have a rolling pin, if you have, a wine bottle or something, will be sorted. So just use whatever you have to hand. It wasn't scary at all, and it was yummy. So let's do that, because making pasta is actually really funny. And maybe even if I mess up on the video, hey, that's life. So let's try this together. I will make a Word document with which outlines all of the ingredients that you will need, and I'll put that in the description box down below. We're going to do it on Sunday the 20th of September at 2 p.m. BST. I think it'll take about 2.5 to 3 hours, just because I imagine I don't want to rush it and leave people behind, so I'm going to be talking through everything. Talking through things will be slower than me just doing it myself. So about 2.5 to 3 hours, very casual Sunday afternoon if you're in the UK. And yes, it will be a strange time to eat because it will be about 5 o'clock. So an early dinner, But it's Sunday, and we're not supposed to eat at odd times on a Sunday. I feel like that's what Sunday is made for. Wherever you are in the world, Google what time that is for you. But in the States, Canada, it will be early morning, so you're making food for brunch. And then in Australia, New Zealand, at the other side, that will be making basically probably a really late night snack. And who doesn't love late night snacks? The pasta itself that we're making is not gluten-free, and it does have eggs in. So if you're vegan or if you're celiac, gluten intolerant, then please do buy store-bought pasta or source a different recipe that you can make alongside. The sauce that we'll be making is vegan apart from the Parmesan, but you can just substitute that for either a different kind of cheese if you're not comfortable eating Parmesan, or vegan cheese if you're vegan. Everything else, there shouldn't be any issues there, but I will link the document in the description box down below. If you would like to join in, that would be amazing. I think it'd be a really fun time. If you can't join in live, the video will be saved to my profile so you can cook along in real time another time. But I would love to chat to you while we do the live, and I can answer questions, I can ask you questions, all of that. We can have a bit of a conversation. So if you can join live, that would be amazing. Cool. So that does feed into what I want to talk about today, because I'm going to be talking about things, as I said, that have brought a smile to my face that you might want to check out too. I only have the list in front of me, so I'm going to be inserting lots of cutaways to show you the things that I'm talking about. Because otherwise I would just be describing them and it would be like a weird game of charades. So on my list at the top is cooking and baking. I have been continuing to enjoy that. I will link videos in the description box where I've shown you what I've been making. I made videos about bagels, making sushi, making cinnamon rolls, making a ridiculous rainbow pavlova. I also share what I'm cooking on Instagram quite a lot. If you want to see shorter versions rather than full videos, you can follow me over there. We've also, Mr. M and I, still been enjoying playing board games. The three main games that we have been enjoying recently are Castles of Burgundy, which is a game where you have to complete a kingdom. It's full of hexagonal shapes. It looks almost like a beehive, and each one of those hexagons is a different type of land. So there are castles, there are fields, there are farmlands, etc., mines, and you can only pick certain things off the board that correspond to a dice that you roll at the beginning of the game, and you can block your opponent by picking up things that they might like, but it's not too competitive. You mainly are playing and looking at your own board, which is the kind of game I like. I don't love, you know, sabotaging other people too much. I have too many feelings for aggressive board games, okay? So I enjoy that one. One that is slightly aggressive, but is just quite tactical, and you can't be too aggressive at it because there's a limited amount of things that you can do in each go, is Hive, which is a very quick game to play, which is great for, you know, a lunch break, etc. It only takes about 5 minutes to play, where you have lots of different insects, 11 pieces, and each of those insects can do different moves. So a grasshopper can hop over a line of insects. A stag beetle can move one square at a time and can go on top of other pieces and stop them being able to move. You have an ant that can go anywhere. You have lots of different things, and the aim of the game is to, I was going to say encircle, but an hexagon, whatever the word would be, surround the opponent's bumblebee. You want to completely surround them, and they're trying to do the same to your bumblebee, and whoever can do that first wins. And the final board game that we have been enjoying recently is called Battle Line. We have the Alexander the Great version, which is a card game similar a little bit to Hanamakoji, in that it is a bluffing game and you are trying to win as many stations across the board, as many battle lines. So there are 9 battle lines and you have to win either 3 in a row or 5 completely, and it's the first person to do that who wins. You want to either have runs in the same color, or you want to have the same number in different colors, 3 of each. So 8, 9, 10 would be the highest run that you could have, and 10, 10, 10 would be the highest single number of cards in different colors to have. And the other player, if they put a run that's higher than yours on the other side, or they have a collection of 3 numbers that are higher than you, so if you had 3 7s and then they played 3 8s, they would win that battle line. So you're trying to not give away what runs you're doing until you absolutely have to, because the other player can then block you or use tactics attics. So it's really fun. I have been enjoying that a lot. A favorite is something that I'm actually sitting on. So let's do a cutaway so I can show you what I'm sitting on. It's my new chair. This is ridiculous, okay? I haven't bought a desk or a chair before, and I work from home. And in our previous flat, I just used this old table, which I think was a dressing table, and I just had a wooden chair, and I would do all of my work on that desk and chair. They were certainly not ergonomic, but they didn't hurt my back too much, and I think that was because of the height. They were probably thinking about it the right height for the work I was doing. Also, I do have a separate keyboard and I do have a laptop stand, but I don't have, well, I do now, didn't have a separate mouse, and I didn't have a proper chair. Something I had never really thought about until moving flats and moving into this place is the height of the table you work at. So I just started doing exactly the same thing. I was working at our dining table, which was here when we moved in, and I just didn't think about the height of it. It's really high. So effectively, I was working like this all the time and didn't really think about it until I started getting really bad back pain, and kind of powered on through it. I got a trapped nerve in my shoulder, powered on through that, then woke up one day and all the right side of my arm and the right side of my back was numb and was going between that and pins and needles, and I just thought, that's not great. So I decided to buy a chair, and in buying a chair, I measured the table because I found a different kind of table which mapped out the height of the chair that you should be using and the height of the table you should be using depending on how tall you are. I really should have thought about this before. I'll link that down below in case you have never thought about that before too. So found out that the table I was using was way too high. So I have been working on the little desk that we have in our kitchen with this chair that I've bought. So I decided to buy a kneeling chair or a posture chair. They call it different things. It has no back, which is really strange for a chair that is supposed to be really good for your back, or at least it feels strange to me. Well, I'll insert a cutaway so that you can see how you sit on it, because to describe it, it's going to sound weird. It even looks a bit weird, but it's really cool. So you rest your knees on it, and then your feet kind of rest just touching the floor, and that position forces you to sit up straight. So it isn't the most comfortable chair in the world because you're forcing yourself to use your core muscles, but I've had this chair now for a few weeks and it's already more comfortable because clearly my back is getting stronger with me using it. At the beginning, you're not supposed to use it for loads of time as your body gets used to it, and then you can ease into using it more. I love it. I had lots of questions about this on Instagram when I said I'd bought it. I had questions about, does it hurt your back? No, but as I said, you have to ease yourself into using it, build up that core. And also, does it hurt your knees? This was something that I was concerned about because I have arthritis in especially my right knee. And if you're sitting on it properly, you're not actually putting lots of weight on your knees. You're kind of balancing. If you lean forward, yes, you put loads of weight on your knees, but you're not supposed to be doing that. So if you're just sitting up straight, your knees are resting, but they're not bearing your weight. Other flat stuff. I have fallen more deeply in love. I don't know what this was, drama. I have fallen more deeply in love with OXO Good Grips, who make amazing kitchen utensils, which are especially great for people who have arthritis, which I have because of my extradactyly. So I have their containers for putting in pasta and rice and flour. I've shown those before. So satisfying the way they open. Here is a clip of that. But recently I've also bought their can openers and their cleaning utensils. Something so satisfying, okay? I'm sorry if this doesn't please you as much as it pleases me, but they have these cleaning brushes which are amazing for cleaning sinks and for really cleaning and getting into your oven. I told you, we've got to find our fun where we can, okay? And cleaning is one of the things that, calms me. So I love their cleaning utensils, and those partnered with the pink stuff, which is this ridiculous cleaning stuff that seems to get everything off everything, has just brought me joy in life. So that's something I've been enjoying. And other flat stuff, we bought a couple of vases in February when we went to Brighton, but we haven't bought really anything else for the flat, and we had stuff that we brought with us obviously, but anything new we wanted to buy where possible. We wanted to buy handmade on Etsy from independent sellers so that they wouldn't match, and I like that they don't match, and they're well made and hopefully they'll last for a really long time. So over the past few months I bought this water jug which is so bright. I mean, lots of the things that I have are bright. You can probably tell that I like colours. So this water jug, this sugar bowl, which has this beautiful handmade spoon as well, and this milk jug. And as I said, they don't match, but I like that they don't match. It's like creating a little family in the cupboard. What a weird phrase. Excellent. Speaking of Etsy, two things that I've also bought from Etsy that I wanted to mention. I bought a few more cards by Amanda White. I mentioned her in a vlog, I think, but I haven't mentioned her in a favorites video, so I'm throwing her in here as well. She makes these amazing cutout collage prints that she then turns into cards as well, of mostly writers, so like of Virginia Woolf and of the Brontes, and she mainly does collages of their houses, and I think they're amazing. And someone else whose work I love is Emma. Emma has a YouTube channel. She is an illustrator. She has stickers and pins. I've shown her reading mermaid pins before, which I love, but she recently brought out a few new pins, including one with a teacup filled with flowers and some cats, which I just think are beautiful. So I bought a couple of those for myself. I'll insert them here. I will link her YouTube channel down below and also her Etsy shop as well. Go and give her a look. A lockdown cliche that I ticked off recently was dyeing some clothes, which I showed in a vlog. I love doing that. I'll link the vlog up here. I dyed a dress and also some dungarees. And let's talk about what we've been watching recently. So in my last favorites video, I said that Mr. M and I had fallen down a rabbit hole of watching what can be summed up as obstacle course reality TV, and I mentioned that we'd been watching Ultimate Beastmaster, which is kind of like the 90s show Gladiators meets Eurovision. There's no singing, but it is people from different countries with commentators from different countries. It's very camp and ridiculous. And Floor is Lava, which is also very camp and ridiculous. Loved both of those things. So I said, please recommend things in that vein that we can watch, because we'd watched them all, and you answered that call, and we ended up watching the Titan Games, which is a more like Gladiators, I suppose, and it's hosted by The Rock, where people come and they battle it out together. That was really fun. We watched Strong, which is a show in America where 12 of the best personal trainers who are all men are paired with 12 women who want to turn their lives around, and they all live together for several weeks. So I suppose in that sense that feels more like Big Brother, but they don't really focus on their lives living together. They train them up, so each couple is like the purple team or the green team, and at the end of every week there are 2 competitions. One of those is where the couples compete against each other, and then on alternate weeks all of the women will compete against each other, or all of the men will, and the 2 bottom couples from each week have to complete an obstacle course. At the end of the week, whoever does it in the shortest amount of time wins and gets to stay, and the other couple gets sent home. It's so addictive. I think it's so addictive, and kind of refreshing to watch people who are learning and getting better at exercising and becoming, like the title of the show, strong. One thing that does annoy me about it is that at the end of each episode there is a part where they show the person who's been sent home how their strength evolved over the next coming months, and they always talk about weight, and they talk about how many dress sizes she's gone down, and none of the rest of the show seems to feed into that at all. So it's just the end section, and it's annoying that that's where the focus goes to, that it goes to weight, and it does talk about how they feel and all of that, but that is slightly annoying, and if that's triggering for you, then bear that in mind. But the rest of the show I really, really loved. Then after we watched that, we watched Broken Skull Ranch, which is hosted by Stone Cold Steve Austin, and this is like the other shows but with no rules, because people really attack each other. It's out on his ranch, and it's mainly the people who do really well in it are people who attack obstacle courses as part of their job. So they have to compete against 7 other people. 1 week it's men, 1 week it's women, and then the person who's left at the end of that week gets to tackle his Skullbuster, which is this ridiculous obstacle course. The people who do it say it's the most difficult obstacle course in the whole world, and they're trying to get to the end of it but also beat the reigning champion's time. If they beat the champion's time, they get $10,000. If they don't, the champion who's already there gets $10,000. If they beat that time, they become the reigning champion. And it's brilliant. We watched all of it. It It was great. And now, where are we now? We've moved on from obstacle course reality TV because I think we may have exhausted everything out there. And now we're watching Below Deck, which is, it is about a crew on a yacht who are serving these ridiculous billionaires who come and hire out the yacht. So it is reality TV, you're watching them do their jobs, and it's just something really addictive about it. Can't really explain it, but if you haven't watched it and that sounds like your cup of tea, then check it out. I'm not someone who used to watch lots of reality TV actually, but maybe it's watching people do their jobs outside of a house, it's suddenly more exciting than it used to be. So those are all the things that I wanted to talk to you about today. Anything I can link, I'll link in the description box down below. Please do join for the live cook-along if you can on Sunday, the 20th of September at 2 p.m. BST. I would love that. As I said, even if you're not going to cook the meal with us or you're cooking something else, please do come and hang out because I would love that. I hope you're all doing all right, and I'll speak to you very soon. Lots of love. Bye.